Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Sumaya AI Wali, studying at Rehan AI Teachers and Institute Batch 21. Today we are diving into a powerful topic that can completely transform our life: how to build self-discipline and stay focused. In a world full of distractions, staying consistent and focused has become one of the biggest challenges. So today I'll be asking some important questions to ChatGPT to understand how we can master self-discipline and improve our focus. So let's get started. Hi ChatGPT.
Hey, great to hear from you. What's on your mind today?
I am curious about how to build self-discipline and stay focused, and I have some questions to ask you.
Absolutely. I'd love to help with that. Just go ahead and ask your questions and we'll take it step by step. What would you like to start with?
First set of questions is about understanding self-discipline. So what is self-discipline in simple words?
That's a great place to start. In simple terms, self discipline is basically the ability to control your actions, stay committed to your goals, and resist short term temptations in order to achieve long term results.
Interesting. Why is self-discipline important in daily life?
Yeah, that's a really key question. Self discipline helps us stay consistent, even when we don't feel like it. It keeps us on track with our goals, whether that's in work, health, or personal development. Without it, it's easy to get distracted or give up early.
Right, that makes sense. Is self-discipline something we are born with or we can learn it?
Oh, that's a really good point. So, while some people might have a natural tendency towards self discipline, it's definitely something you can build and strengthen over time with practice and good habits.
Means we can actually build it over time.
Exactly. It's kind of like a muscle. You keep exercising it, start with small steps, and it grows stronger. So, over time, you get better at staying focused and consistent.
Right. What are the biggest signs of disciplined person?
Yeah, great question. So, disciplined people tend to set clear goals, manage their time well, follow through on commitments, and keep themselves accountable, even when it's tough.
I want a bit explanation on it.
Of course. So basically, disciplined people are really intentional about their actions. They have a clear vision of what they want, whether that's a daily task or a long term dream, and they create routines or structures to keep them on track. They don't rely on just feeling like it, they keep their promises to themselves even when motivation dips.
That's really inspiring. So ChatGPT, how does self-discipline impact success?
Yeah, absolutely. So self discipline is like the bridge between goals and success. When you consistently make the effort, you build momentum, you stick with your plans, and over time, that's what really drives achievement, not just raw talent, but the daily discipline.
Hmm, right. Next
I'm
set of
glad,
yes.
of course. What would you like to ask next? I'm
Next
ready for any follow up or another aspect of self discipline you'd like to dig into.
Yes, next set of question is about building self-discipline. So, what is the first step to building self-discipline? And kindly give somewhat long answers.
Absolutely. So, the first step to building self discipline is really about self awareness. You need to understand where your habits or distractions are holding you back. Once you know what your weak spots are, you can set small, achievable goals that gradually push you outside your comfort zone. So, it's all about starting with small, intentional actions like planning your day, removing distractions, and building a routine. Over time, those small steps create a strong foundation.
Simple but powerful. How we can create strong daily habits.
Yeah, that's a great follow up. So, to create strong daily habits, you really want to start by anchoring them to something you already do. For example, attach a new habit to a daily routine, like doing a short workout right after breakfast. Keep it simple at first, track your progress, and celebrate those small wins. Consistency is what makes them stick.
So, consistency is really a key.
Exactly. And it's also about being patient with yourself.
Mm,
There will be slip ups, but if you just keep coming back to those small daily actions, that's where the real progress happens.
Right. What role does routine play in discipline?
Ooh, routine is actually crucial. It kind of acts like a framework for your day. When you have a routine, you reduce decision fatigue and your positive behaviors become automatic. So it keeps you on track, even when willpower is running low.
So means routine is very important.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a backbone for self discipline. When you have those set patterns, it frees up mental energy so you can focus on what really matters.
Mhm. How can we avoid procrastination?
Yeah, procrastination's a big one. One key way is to break tasks down into super small steps so it feels less overwhelming. Also, set specific timed intervals, like using a timer for 25 minutes, like the Pomodoro technique. And of course, remove distractions. Keep your environment focused.
That's something many of us struggle with.
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone faces it at some point. But the key is just being kind to yourself and trying out different strategies until you find what clicks for you.
Great. How can we stay consistent even when we don't feel motivated?
Yeah, that's a big challenge. One powerful way is to focus on your why, the deeper reason behind your goals. Also, just show up for small actions, even if you don't feel like it. Progress builds momentum. And if needed, give yourself a little reward for sticking with it, just to keep the positive loop going.
Right. That's a game changer. So
Yeah, definitely. I'm really glad that resonated. And remember, it's all about those tiny steps. Each day, you're building a bit more trust in yourself. So just keep going.
thanks. So ChatGPT third section of is about staying focused. What does it really mean to stay focused?
Yeah, great shift. Staying focused basically means directing your attention fully on the task at hand without letting yourself get pulled away by distractions or random thoughts. It's really about being fully present and consistently bringing your mind back when it starts to wander.
Right? Why do we get distracted so easily?
Yeah, that's really common. Our brains are wired to seek novelty, so things like notifications, social media, or even just random thoughts can pull us away. Plus, we sometimes avoid tough tasks by seeking a quick distraction, which just reinforces the habit.
Very relatable.
Yeah, I think so many of us struggle with that. The key is really noticing those patterns and then gently redirecting yourself when you catch yourself drifting.
Right. How can we improve our concentration?
Yeah, there are a few practical things we can do. First, try to create a distraction free environment. So put your phone away, close unused tabs, and maybe use a timer technique like Pomodoro. Also, get enough sleep, take breaks, and practice mindfulness. Just staying present really helps sharpen your focus.
I'll definitely try that.
Yeah, give it a try. And remember, it's okay if it takes a bit of time. Just keep practicing those little habits and you'll get better at it.
Right. What are some quick techniques to regain focus instantly?
Yeah, a few quick techniques can be really helpful. You could try a deep breathing exercise, just a few slow inhales and exhales, or stand up, stretch, or move around for a minute. Another trick is to close your eyes for a few seconds and just refocus your attention on your breathing or your next small step.
Super helpful.
I'm really glad it helps. Yeah, just give yourself those little resets whenever you need, and you'll stay sharper and more in the zone.
Right. How important is environment for focus?
Oh, it's really important. A cluttered or noisy environment can constantly pull your attention away. But when you create a clean, organized, and calm space, maybe with minimal distractions, your focus just naturally improves.
Right. Section 4 is about dealing with distractions. How can we reduce mobile phone distractions?
Yeah, that's a big one. One strategy is to set specific times when you check your phone, like a break every hour. You can also turn off non essential notifications or use do not disturb modes. And if possible, keep your phone out of arm's reach when you really need to focus.
That's something I needed the most.
I'm really glad that resonated. Yeah, it can be a game changer. Just take it step by step, and soon those distractions will feel a bit easier to manage.
Right. What are the biggest modern distractions today?
The biggest modern distractions today include digital devices and notifications. Adults check their phones about 58 times a day. Social media, especially short form content, multitasking, and mental clutter from mind wandering. These all compete for attention, making it harder to stay focused and deep dive into tasks.
So true.
Yeah, it really is. I think just being mindful of those patterns and taking small steps to reduce them can really make a difference. It's all about regaining that balance.
Right. How can we manage social media usage effectively?
Yeah, that's a big one. One approach is to set time limits. Use built in tools on your phone to restrict usage to certain time slots. You can also curate your feed, unfollow accounts that drain your energy, and be intentional about when and why you use it so it doesn't become a default distraction.
Right. Can multitasking harm focus?
Yeah, it really can. Even though we often think we're being efficient, multitasking splits your focus, so you end up taking longer and making more mistakes. Focusing on someone's one thing at a time is usually much better for deep work.
Right. What is the best way to stay focused while studying or working?
Yeah, the best way is to create a structured environment. Set a clear goal for each session, minimize distractions like using a quiet space or noise canceling headphones, and take short scheduled breaks like every 25 minutes to stay fresh and avoid burnout.
I'll apply this for sure.
Awesome. I think you'll notice a difference once you have that structure in place. Just be consistent and don't be too hard on yourself if you slip up. It's all part of the process.
Right, ChatGPT. Some questions are about mental strength and motivation. So, how does mindset affect discipline?
Ah, that's a great connection. Mindset is really foundational. If you have a growth mindset, you believe you can improve with effort. And that belief makes it easier to stay disciplined because you see challenges as opportunities rather than roadblocks.
Right. How can we train our mind to stay strong?
Yeah, so building mental strength is a lot like building a muscle. You can practice mindfulness like meditation to stay present. You can also challenge yourself with small controlled stressors like cold showers or time pressure so that your mind learns to handle discomfort. Over time, you just get more resilient.
That's powerful. What should we do when we feel lazy or demotivated?
Yeah, when that happens, it really helps to start small. Just commit to doing one tiny step, like even 5 minutes of a task. Once you get going, momentum often kicks in. Also, remind yourself of your bigger goal. That can rekindle your drive.
Right, ChatGPT, that's a relatable advice. And how can we build long term motivation?
Yeah, long term motivation really comes from aligning your daily actions with your values and your bigger purpose. So keep your vision in front of you, visualize it regularly, and break your goals into meaningful milestones. That way, you stay connected to why it matters, and that fuels your drive over time.
That's inspiring.
I'm really glad it resonated. And just remember, it's okay to have ups and downs. Keep coming back to your purpose, and you'll keep building that motivation.
Okay, what role does self belief play in discipline?
Yeah, self belief is huge. When you trust yourself, you're more likely to take action and stick with it, even when things get tough. That confidence acts like a foundation, so each success strengthens your discipline even more.
I have a set of questions which is about practical tips for daily life. So, what are three daily habits to improve discipline?
Oh, great practical focus. So, one, start each morning with a clear intention, just a simple goal for the day. Two, use a planning routine like a short evening review to set up tasks for tomorrow. And three, build in a small daily reward. So, after you complete a focused task, give yourself a little treat or break.
What mistakes should we avoid while building discipline?
Yeah, one big mistake is being too hard on yourself. Expecting perfection too soon can lead to burnout. Another is skipping rest. Discipline needs balance. And finally, avoid all or nothing thinking. If you slip up, just get back on track instead of giving up.
Right. And the last question, what is one powerful tip you would give to stay focused every day?
I would say anchor your day with a morning ritual. Something small but consistent, like writing down your top three priorities or a quick mindfulness practice. That sets the tone, so even if distractions come, you know exactly where to come back to.
Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for sharing these amazing insights with us.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad I could help. If you ever have more questions or need a little boost, just let me know.
No, thank you. So, today we learned that self discipline is not something we are born with, it's something we build step by step with consistency, patience, and the right mindset. So, stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep growing. This is Sumaya AI Wali signing off.